So, guys, we are finally back. After the long break, I must say, it was a bit longer than expected. Had a lot of things to do, but now we're finally back this week with some cool upgrades for the deck. I hope everyone enjoys this episode. Right. So first cards leaving a deck are going to be Troll, Troll, and Prowl. So the deck doesn't feel like that constant. Outputting two stealth cards, and the stealth cards on its own are just like slightly on rate, like 0 for 3, go again. But it doesn't feel good when I only have like one. So the same thing for creep. So creep, I had it in the deck for like when I need to go wide, but I'm still not really favorable into like fatigue matches if I trade like one card for one card. Next up is going to be like the last blue of the deck, Nice Embrace. With these, we're going to be embracing a full red line deck. Um, the two toxicities, the red ones, the yellow one is going to be stay in the deck. So toxicity hasn't been feeling like that great. Like stacking a red card is often like pretty awkward. So I'm just going to be staying with like the yellow one for like certain matchups. And as well going to be getting rid of the two spike finisher. I think that's probably like pretty good against bolting and something like that. Um, but I don't really think I'm going to be sideboarding this or even playing this like that often. And with that out of the way, let's see the new cards. Alright, so first of all, we're going to be saying hi to the third snatch that we already had in our card pool, but stopped playing due to like finisher reasons, go again stuff. And speaking of go again, now we are going to be playing a bit more of go again in the form of Rebels. Since we are now fully redline, we can't reveal a blue. So now we're playing Rebels. Because we started with less life, Garford's card is also like pretty fine in this case. It's just like 0 for 4 go again. And since we started with like less life, we can have the reliable sort of go again, like on even on the first turn. Now from Pen, we didn't got that much from Pen, but we got some interesting cards in the form of lobotomy. So I just have like one complaint about like this card. Uh, guess what is Sleepy Signature Weapon? If you guess Orbitoclast, you guess right. So we're going to be playing 3 Orbitoclasts also to complement our 3 lobotomies. So Haunted Clave is a Mario signature weapon, so it feels like pretty awkward to give it like to Sleepy and Mark and pick deck when like his signature weapon is not like the marking one. I think Lobotomy is something that should have been in the Sleepy Armory deck, and I think it would be like cooler to have Teen if like he had to build around like this orbital class, like to give Sleepy the opportunity to like play around his signature weapon. That would be like cool. And now back to lobotomy. So lobotomy is basically also a 0 for 4 because you equip a dagger that you can like basically immediately flick. Um, it has also some sort of like disruption effect since it has like a humble ability in itself when you have like an orbital cast equipped. The only problem with lobotomy is you need like to have orbital glass in your sideboard. That might be awkward sometime. But with that out of the way, go for the games. And don't forget, you can find the link in the description below. There is a link with the deck list, a link to February. So go ahead and check it out. You can also find like the cyber guides that I've been like playing, like how I've been playing against each hero. And you can also modify the weeks for the deck, so you can check how the deck looks in each week. So yeah, that way. Now let's go for the games. So I don't know how much this of an oopsie was, but it seems that today's armory was not CC. It was in fact Sage, and now we have like a whole week of Sage armories in Berlin, and the Friday next week is May the 1st, so there is no armor in that day as well. So oopsie. Round one, we're going to be playing against Arakni Marionette. As you know, Arakni Marionette is a hero that goes tall and with daggers and has some sneaky gameplay. So we will be carrying some cards, but the thing is, my hero ability helps him a lot because he also gets going in first attack, so that's pretty bad for me. So I would say Arakni Marionette is a bad match for me. This is going to be our load up. Is going to be like the standard load up we're going to be taking. The shreds. I think I'm not liking the shreds. So I think that's maybe like a card that's going to get flopped out of the deck eventually. Let's get started. So round one, I get paired against Mario. A bit unlucky since he's like the main counter of Sleepy. So tough luck for me. It gets like bad at some points because like he gets free flicks of Kiss of Death, as you can actually see on his turn one. So I just swing my dagger pass. He goes like Kiss of Death into dagger into Leave the Witness. I'm like, that's pretty powerful, you know. And he gets like a free flick of Kiss, so I'm already starting it back. But now I can counterattack with my own Kiss of Death, finishing up with a Infiltrate. I mean, Infiltrate is not like the greatest card against Mario because he plays like a lot of dagger buffs. So sometimes I don't have like the resources to swing with a dagger because I'm playing like mostly red cards. Especially because in this matchup I also sideboarded out like the shreds because they're not that great in this matchup. So yeah, I swing and flick a kiss, you know. And he goes like with this weird turn. He like pitches the codex. I was thinking he was going to do like a codex of inertia play or something like that. But no, he had like the transfer toxin and ended up like outplaying my sync. So I had to block the sync because I had a snatch and I wanted the snatch threat to be light. So in that case, I go with like Rabble into Infect, finish her with snatch, like some nice 11, at least 11 value offensively with like up to 16 value if I draw a card from Snatch and hit the Infect. And my opponent just like come with a simple codex. I put a leap in my, I put a Kiss of Death in my arsenal and my opponent put Leave. And I have just like, you know, like the classic Kiss Flick 2 card. It's okay-ish. After doing just like my stuff, flicking Kiss of Death, my opponent, it seems he's playing like the Command Conquers. I think they haven't been like that great in general, but it's pretty neat since he can always get the free value from, because I give my opponent like this free Kogan. So it's quite annoying. It's like not the best, but it's just annoying, you know? Because luckily I have like a lot of free block in my deck. Hey, but at least I've been like fairly lucky with this Kiss of Death because that's some of like the power move. It's essentially like a 0 for 5. Not on the level that like Mario can do with like toxin and stuff, but it's at least it's something, you know. And my opponent is hitting hard. Like the free go again and the reactions make quite annoying. So I'm a bit of a back foot right now. But I have 4 cards in hand to play with, so now's the time I try to come back to the game. So it's a bit important that my opponent rolled into like the Black Widow because that's one of the best, if not the best, Arakni form. But I start with this Meat Madness, and luckily I hit a card from hands, and my opponent right now has like a full grip, like not a full grip, like 3 cards with the Black Widow. I'm like thinking, yes, I probably need like to disrupt. So I flick my dagger, mark him, and swap to like a mark of Black Widow, just to banish another card from hand. So stripping 2 cards from my opponent and leaving him only with 3 cards to play. So he pitches for the dagger. I'm thinking, okay, I have this thing below my arsenal. As long as he does not have like a reaction from the opponent like a lot of turns ago, then I'm going to be like, okay. So I blocked for 4, and turns out, of course, he drew like the Transblood Toxin from the Ponder, so I'm just like hooked. I go down to 2 after that action, and I don't know. I didn't really wanted to block the second Chili Sarah, I was thinking, okay, I'm a 2, or he has like the flick, so I'm kinda alive-ish, so I'm not instantly dead to one flick. So I just try like to go to and build some pressure. And I go like 4 into 4 and arsenaling. But yeah, that thing was not quite enough because my opponent just plays like up 6 into Kiss of Death, and I knew that was like game over because he just needs to flick the Kiss of Death and I'm dead. So I just considered that spot. Now, round 2, you're going to be playing against Puffin. So now Puffin goes with large attacks or goes wide, depending if Puffin is like a boost Puffin or a pirate Puffin. But we know that Puffin is going to be hitting us for big damage and is going to be getting free cards thanks to his companion Polycranka being half a card. And if Puffin has another card, then she's going to be drawing an extra card. It's going to be the same loadout as last game. I think that this hybrid right now is more for like specific matchups, not like an overall. I think we have a solid 60 cards. Let's see how it goes. So now round 2 is going to be against Puffin, not our usual suspect Puffin player, but rather another Puffin player. So let's go into the game. The Puffin player starts and starts swinging with this Command Conqueror. I guess just wanted like to filter. Because I see pitching like a puncher, maybe trying like to do some sort of pitch tagging or something. Sure. I blocked 2 cards. One of them was a Take of the Mantle. That's like fairly important. Yeah. So I start swinging my attacks. I start going for 3, go again with a stealth attack, and my dagger finish it up with the Son of the Poor. I mean, it's honestly not the most efficient turn, but it is at least some chip damage. Like 8 damage, honestly not that good. Now, my opponent swings for Zeppelin. I mean, it's a Zeppelin with no cock, though. It's basically just vanilla damage. I block it with the D-React. I had an arsenal because I wanted to refresh my arsenal. And I go like Kiss Death, pumping it up with a reaction. He has a reaction, but it's like whatever. I finish it up with Upon the Poor. I hit, I banish a 0 cost, so I get a silver. That's I'm halfway there to getting like my red back shroud back if I'm using it at some time. So I'm honestly like in a good spot, I think. And now my opponent does one of those things what I would call like a neck play. So my opponent has like no cock on board and plays cheating scoundrel and swings for 7. I'm honestly just happy blocking this because now I know my opponent needs like to discard a card and get like the gold. I mean, gold is usually high rated in Puffin, especially because it's like a half card draw with the bird. So I feel good just like making so my opponent like negative value, and I think my opponent also like happy with the gold. Not that sure. So I just swing with the rabble and finish it up with like this lobotomy. So I flicked in the first rebel attack just to get like the slot free for my lobotomy. It didn't really needed the mark in that case, so I'm just finish flicking that. And now the lobotomy, he maybe I can like outplay him if he thinks I have some follow up in my arsenal, but in this case I had like no follow up. So if the lobotomy hits, basically Puffin can't activate Puffin to draw with the bird. So I'm fine with that play. So my opponent swings that command. This command was actually quite annoying because I really needed my arsenal. I didn't really care about that threat I had in hand, but I cared about the Tarantula Toxin. Because I have like a cool Take of the Mantle line where I can go with like double Kiss of Death, and if my opponent blocks like any attack, I can just get the full value of the Tarantula Toxin. So I'm fine with that. And as you can see, I get like the combo, with the Horrors of the Past. So I get like the Kiss of Death into Horrors of the Past and banishing an effect. So I deal like a lot of damage in this case. I think I had no double trouble, otherwise I would go for like the 2 raw damage. Because I'm still dealing like 2 damage. But this way, I kinda outplay if my opponent has like a D-react, because my opponent blocks with the arms. So yeah, I'm like fairly happy that I get like to push a lot of damage. And I'm honestly thinking my opponent is going to do like a pantry play, because plays uh this Cogrex Workshop, I think, is what he played. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to planter me. This is what's eventually going to happen. Nope, it's just like a blue Zeppelin. And I just block with 2 cards, like to avoid the. Like, if I don't block it, or I don't block with 1 card, he goes like for 6, taps the croc, cranks, and gets for like 2. So if I block 6 here, I basically blocking 8. So it's just like doing some value blocks. I think this Horse of the Past is going to be kind of useless right now, because my last Take of the Mantle is on the bottom of my deck, and the pace this game is going, I think I'm not really going to be needing it. But I'm just fine throwing like 2 attacks this turn and skipping Arsenal. Usually when Poppin has like a lot of cogs, you need to be like a bit conservative with attacks, because as we see right now, Puffin get like the Golden Skywarden, and that's like a lot of card advantage. And this is quite a scary turn from Puffin. I go like no blocks the whole turn, but it's still like super scary, especially for like 3 cards. I go like Sky Skimmer, here for 4, go again basically into Tunic, Dovetail. In this case, Dovetail could be like, in theory, a 1 for 6, but my opponent was like, sorry, I think. No, not 1 for 6, like 1 for 7, I think. But my opponent was like a bit scary that I had like double D react, so he only gave it like go again, so like, sure, I take it. And he finished it up with like another Sky Skimmer into shooting. So that was like a lot of damage, especially because the gun also came for 3. So it was like 4 into 5 into 4 into 3. Yeah, so that's like 16 damage. I went from like 36 life to 20 life. But now I had like a really good grip to counterattack. It goes this Rabble. Unfortunately, the Rabble reveals a yellow. I think it was a shred. I'm not liking these shreds. I have not been able to play them like the way I want. So maybe they're in for like the chopping block. Sure. And full of this infiltrate, I banish a Dovetail. I mean, it's pretty cool if I get like to draw the shred together with the Orb Weaver, because as you can see right now, I'm flicking the Orbital Glass for the to get like the double trouble effect, and I am finishing up with this Art of Desires. I mean, it's not guaranteed to be hitting the Art of Desires, so that's why I am thinking, okay, if I draw like an Orb Weaver with a shred, I'm like pretty good, because with I can go like 4 go again and the Dovetail, so 2 card 9 basically. So I'm happy with that. But we ended up actually hitting with the thingy, without the desire. So I draw the threat. I'm gonna put it in Arsenal. My opponent knows about it, so maybe he can take no blocks, but eventually he's going to block. And since we don't have money for codexes, Arsenal is like whatever. So we ended up actually drawing the Orb Weaver, but I already put the threat in Arsenal because it was like a free card, So we couldn't go like that cheeky line that I mentioned before. In this case, I go like the Orb Weaver, and then I swing with, I'm honestly not sure what attack it was, but it's swing for 6, then I reacted, so I go like to 9, get some damage through, and then I played the Dovetail. I had the Scar, but 5 is greater than 4, so we throw the Dovetail instead of the Scar, and we get our free value. My opponent's swing with the Murderous Rabble, revealing like a red one is not that good. So I can just go like no blocks, E-strikes, into the gun for 3. I mean, 2 card 8. Like, the gun is pretty good, just shooting for free. He gets me down a little bit, but now I have like some tempo. Like, I can do my cool to play 2 card hands, and my opponent does not has like really an answer for that. So I can swing certain lethal with the snatch. But if my opponent has like a D-react, then it's like whatever, and my opponent can draw like a card with the poly, so I decided to throw the snatch to the poly, just like avoid any comeback potential for my opponent. And now my opponent's just like throwing a soup up with a cheating scoundrel. As you can see, he could have just easily block our snatch with the soup up, so good that we throw it to the poly. So I get a gold now, and I can't do anything with this gold. But yeah, I swing with my effect for 6, crack my chest, goes to 9, but my opponent had like a reaction. Was able to dodge that, and I finished it up with an attack. I'm not sure what attack this was. Maybe like a Plunder the Poor, something like that. But yeah, just like gets blocked. And now I had another pretty cool turn when I put his back against the ropes with this Kiss of Death. Finish it up with I think it was a Scar for 4. He blocked 3, I flick the Kiss, so he takes 3 damage in total. And now he is at 1, meaning next turn he is just dead with the Graphene. And that is exactly what happens. Next turn I just attack and swing the Graphene, and it is game over, my friends. So I liked how the deck played. Honestly, like cutting the bad stealth cards felt pretty nice, quite liberating, because now I don't have like to worry about those cards. So I'm glad the deck is working right now. Just switching the bad cards that only have 3 value for some better cards that have like 3 value sometimes. Yeah, I'm pretty glad overall. So let's see how it goes next week.
1-1. I mean, we got more wins than the last week, so that's something plus. The jam pack was not something special, so we just skipped that part. Yeah, I mean, the deck felt actually pretty good to play with. A bit unfortunate we got like a really bad matchup on round 1, like playing against Mario. We just give him like extra effects. As you can see, he could just like easily flick off our own effect. Yeah, it is what it is. Sadly, our last round opponent didn't show up. It seems he just went home after the pairings were done, so we can repair it. I thought he was smoking, so I was just like waiting for him. But yeah, it is what it is. See you next week.